One more time. There we go. All right. What is going on, everyone? Hope you're having an amazing Monday, July, what is it, 17th? Um, Looking forward to another fun-filled conversation around artificial intelligence, specifically generative AI. For me, the reason that I keep having these conversations and doing so many live sessions in a row is candidly just the evolution. It's this stuff is evolving so quickly, and in sales, there are more and more and more and more and more use cases that we're coming up with around sales for sales leaders, sales teams, VPs of sales, enablement professionals, operations professionals, etc. And so I want to make sure as we're finding these things out, one, don't get fatigued. Meaning, if you see, hey, Jake, you're talking about AI a lot, it's the same thing. I promise you, if you follow my content, I'm not going to talk about the same thing, exact same thing, 8 times in a row. I'm going to talk about where I'm seeing where the market going, new ways to use this that we're implementing for our clients, or I'm talking to senior leaders about that I think are going to move the needle pretty significantly for many sales organizations. Today's topic today is for, if you're new to a role, if you're a good performer and want to be great, if you're a mediocre, you're doing okay, quota not, and you want to get better, this is for you. Because this isn't, I'm going to talk about new hire productivity, but the reality is that the cheats that I'm going to give you today are applicable not only to somebody who just started, but anybody who's like, I'm good, I'm having good conversations, but man, I want to nail it. I want to be able to see eye to eye with an executive, I want to right in the eyes. I want them to see me as a peer. I want to be able to have productive conversations. I want to come off as an industry expert, and not come off like I want to learn more about my industry so I can actually be an industry expert, right? Today's session is for you. Okay, as always, make sure drop some comments for us. Let us know where you're joining from. If you have questions, let me know. If we have time, I will try to get to them. If not, I'm sorry, I will get to them and I will tag you. Anyone who's dropped questions in the past knows I will respond. We put them in a little queue and I get to them as well. That's one of the downsides of LinkedIn Live is there's no like live interaction where I can just like bring people live, which I would love to do. So today is about increasing new hire productivity by 25%, but I think this is going to increase anyone's productivity by 10, 15, 20, 25%. But specifically, if you are, again, you're like, hey, I'm doing well or I'm new and I want to get to the next level, that's what we're going to do. Okay. I firmly believe that I'm going to be able to build onboarding plans for our clients. And by I mean our team, where we are going to be able to ramp sales teams in 3 to 4 weeks, 3 individuals, as opposed to 3 to 4 months with what I'm going to walk you through today. And so again, even if you're somebody who's established, like, look, I promise you're going to have some takeaways from today that you can continue to play on and get better and better and better. And, again, like we are really building the playbook here, for this. I've got some exciting announcements coming up. I don't want to tease too much, but in the next couple of weeks, certainly by the end of July, myself and another sales influencer, you could call him, but he's also a practitioner. I hate it when people call me an influencer. It's like, look, man, I'm running a company. I've got employees and payroll and all this stuff. Are going to be doing a lot here. So stay tuned for that. Feel free. You can drop your guesses on who I'm going to be teaming up with for the next, for a while, to go on this kind of continued AI journey. Okay. So let's jump into it, my friends. Okay, so I'm going to walk through the key ways that I think you can use this. There's really kind of 2 buckets here, knowledge and skill building. I'm going to break down that I think, again, are going to be absolutely critical for anyone who's trying to get up to speed on an industry, or like I said, even if you're not trying to get up to speed on an industry, but, I remember, I'll just tell a quick story. I was I was a national account executive at Career Builders, probably 29 at the time, maybe 30, 29 or 30. And I got a note. Intel was in my account patch. I was in San Francisco, and I got a note. Our North American VP, and I knew Brent, I knew him well enough, like, we'd interacted. I got a note from his admin who said, Jake, Brent just heard the CEO of Intel speak at this conference, He said, reach out to him and set up a meeting. It's like, the beauty of being 29 and 30, like, all right, fuck it. My boss said to do it, so I'm doing it. So long story short, I do it. I reach out to the admin. I don't even know how I found the number, talked to the admin, got her email address. Um, and sure enough, I ended up getting, my email was good. It was very tailored. I talked about my CEO saw this talk. Here's what highlighted. Like, it was a good personalized email. And I got a meeting. He kicked us down to the head of global talent acquisition. So at 29, I booked a meeting with the head of global talent acquisition for Intel, right? I didn't have ChatGPT. We had Google, right? And LinkedIn didn't. Back in like 2009, 2010, like, keep in mind, this 13 years ago. It wasn't that long ago. Like, LinkedIn didn't have that much stuff on people. You had to like Google for articles, all kinds of stuff. But the point of the story is, I had no clue how to have that conversation. I could not fathom what a global head of talent at a Fortune 100 company was going through. But with ChatGPT and Bing and other generative AIs, I probably could have been more prepared. Now, the good part is, look, I was smart enough. He came to the meeting. He flew to San Francisco. He ran the meeting. I sat there in my like oversized suit and drank coffee and had scones or whatever it was. But because of that knowledge base that we can build from, which is the first thing, and there's two things within knowledge that ChatGPT and generative AI can really help with, and I'm going to drop them in the comments for you as well. One is getting up to speed on an industry. One of the beautiful parts about my career that I look back with, and I was so lucky, is, again, I'll just say, working at Career Builder, we were territory based, and so my team that I managed, we were the Pacific Northwest. This is before I went in to be a national account executive, and we had to learn about every industry. We had a binder. I freaking kid you not. It was this thick, and it was like industry trends and all this stuff, and I'd make my team read it, so we could have logical, smart business conversations with executives. And now with ChatGPT, again, I can literally, instead of my team having to have 25 calls with someone in aviation, I can say, a prompt like this: I'm a new sales representative, I'm a sales development, whatever it is, in this type of aviation logistics management technology, and am tasked with booking meetings primarily with VPs of operations and VPs of supply chain for aviation companies between this size and this size, mostly based in North America. Here are 5 specific products that we sell. Based on this, what are some of the priorities for someone in the aviation industry with this role today? Boom. All of that. It sounds long, just type it all in. Right? So then I can not only, and that goes to kind of my second one, I kind of stole my own thunder there, which is the buyer persona, but it's going to allow me to get specific. And then guess what? I've got another meeting. I got a meeting tomorrow with someone in finance. I can do the same thing. I work in finance. I'm new to this role, blah, 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 blah. Here's our products and what we do, for this, and be specific. So don't just say finance. Finance is one of the dumbest catch-alls. Be like regional banks, with over 30 locations. Like, be specific. So its ability to teach me quickly an industry. Okay, let's say it's another industry, and let's say I could start a whole new thread and just say, I want to learn about this industry. And I could go, a good part about Bing, for those of you who don't know, Bing also leverages ChatGPT because they're an investor in OpenAI, but Bing also surfs the internet regularly as a part of its queues, and it'll help you cite sources as well. If you don't know, ChatGPT had a beta where they were allowing you to browse, but something wonky was happening, and they've actually shut down the beta recently. Some people still might have access, but we'll figure it out. So that's industries, right? I can get up to speed. I can learn. I'll be like, teach me more. Tell me more about this trend. What does this job title actually mean? And that goes to my second one, is buyer persona. I could just have a rep sit there and I could write a list. And guess what? We've done it for you. We've written a list of prompts. Go check out some of my favorite prompts here. Buyer personas. I sell a product that you can find at this site. We have 4 main value props. Here they are. What would a blank job title care about most in this sub-industry, assuming that the economy is not great or may go down? Boom. Now I can say, what would I need to arm that job title with so when they go to the CFO, I can actually show real return on investment? Boom. It's going to tell me how to write the proposal as well too. So if I'm a new hire, or again, I'm someone who's like, look, I want to be better at sales. I want to truly be a sales professional. ChatGPT can make my knowledge go through the roof. I can learn industries faster than ever. I can learn buyer personas, and I can learn the intertwinedness. I could then ask, like, let's say again, if I sell to a wide variety of industries, I could say, well, what does a VP of operations typically care about in this industry versus this industry? And so you can imagine, my friends, look, if you have a sales leader, if you're a sales leader watching this, DM me. One of the most important projects we're doing for our clients now is we are completely redoing people's onboarding plans. If you're a new hire, DM me, tag your sales leader in here. I am telling you, sales leaders, if you're looking for productivity gains, the ability to give your new hires knowledge and to get your, medium performers to learn more about a space in an industry is astronomical. Okay, now this gets to my third, which is skill building. And this is specifically one I think that's applicable to people that have been in a role for a while or, again, want to get better. Role playing. Okay, this is one of my favorite use cases that, again, a lot of people don't think about. I can create threads similar to what I just said, that I can have ChatGPT simulate a customer interaction. I can have it simulate, hey, help, like, here's my typical discovery for this role. What do you think will be most important to someone in this job title? Please role play this with me where I enter a question and you tell me how they might respond, and then I'll tell you how I'll respond. So imagine what that allows me to do. And then I can say, hey, be more difficult, be a more difficult customer, right? There's no point in planning for the person who's like, yeah, this is great, this is really interesting. Plan for the more difficult ones, right? So again, I could also ask things like, if I'm role playing, okay, so you solve for these things. If you're a CFO of this industrial manufacturing company, what could two primary objections be based on this economic climate? Boom, bum, 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 bum. Right? Okay, so that's one. So think about, how could I role play with it my discovery? How could I role play for where things might go south? Because that's what I used to do in my head. I don't know about a lot of you. I still do this for big meetings. I go through in my head, and because I tried to quantify it. I think I've ran 10 plus thousand sales meetings in 20 years. I do. I tried to do the math. I'm like, it sounds like a lot, but I mean, there's a period I was running 2 a day at least, and probably running 4 or 5 a week. So I've ran a lot of sales meetings. Okay, I've ran a lot, and I can tell you what I used to do, especially when I was younger in my career, because I didn't know enough about these personas. I used to role play all the time. Okay, so I can see this person's profile. Here's how they talk about themselves. Ooh, they're probably going to object. They talk about safe and proven. Oh, this person talks about their accolades, so maybe they want to be more cutting edge. I would role play all of this. Now I can role play with ChatGPT. My boss is busy. My frontline leader's busy. If you are a frontline leader, I want you to think about this use case, right? If you are a frontline leader, now imagine allowing your leaders to be able to do this. Allow your team to be able to do this. Sorry. Think about that. You can be like, hey, you know what? What did ChatGPT say? What did it say might be some objections? Well, it said this. Yeah, I think that's probably right. Or no, it might be a little bit more like this. Okay. The next thing that it can help you role play is competition. I cannot tell you, it's pretty pathetic how little sales training people get on, like, who their competition is, good or bad. And I think, sometimes it's like, we're competing against a mythical competitor, and we don't even know who's on the other side of the aisle. And so again, you can say, hey, here's my competitors' products, and here's how they differentiate. I've done this with my own competitors, just so you know. It's amazing. I did it against, like, the bigger players, like an Accenture or KPMG that, we'll compete against sometimes for parts of enterprise deals. How would Scaled Consulting, this is what we do, better position ourselves to compete against one of the big four like this? And they describe their sales practice as this. Okay, you could do this, you could do this. Okay, role play with me like you're a potential buyer and you're leaning toward KPMG, but you're considering Scaled. Boom. Competitive differentiation, how you can do that. Number 3, role playing status quo. 9 times out of 10, you know who we lose to? We lose to the status quo. We lose to whatever they're doing now or nothing. Because nothing requires no like no pushback. We can stay with the status quo. Very few people, well, sometimes you get fired for staying too long with the status quo, but it's like, if you don't choose to invest that $1 million to put your neck on the line, yeah, we're gonna stay at status quo. So role play that. And what I find myself doing a lot of is I'm like hard on the AI. I'm like, no, be more difficult. Like, act more entrenched in your current solution. And then guess what? If I'm stuck, I'm like, how would you answer? How would you combat that? Be more direct. Sometimes ChatGPT, I'll just give you guys a little cheat here. It's too soft sometimes. It's too permission based. So just know that. I always try to train it. I'm like, no, just be more direct. Don't ask permission. Just be direct. So again, if I'm a CF, I'm selling to VPs of operations in this industry. The CFO is kind of they care about these things. What would be maybe the top 2 criteria that would get someone to switch if this is their scenario? You could then like copy and paste in their latest press release, and it'll give you all of that. So there you have it, my friends. Those are kind of my go-tos: industry training, buyer persona training, and role playing. With those 3 skills, whether you are a new hire, whether you've been at the company for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, I can make you a better sales rep. I'm telling you, we are at a time and place where I hope everybody watching, you have the ability right now to up-level your skills that no person before you ever had. And we'll upload, obviously, you've seen the prompts. We'll continue to do those. Think of the other things like negotiation skills, closing, if you've got a sales playbook, how to challenge customers without coming across as pushy. There's literally like a million of these types of things, okay, that you can go through. So here's what I want you to do. If your organization, again, we're going to be making a bigger announcement here in the next 3 to 4 weeks. If your organization is interested in implementing ChatGPT, let me tell you this, your teams are already using it. And really thinking about how to build out a repeatable, easy to implement process. I'm going to drop a link to my calendar. I'm going to be out for a week or so, but I'll get you in touch with either myself or someone else once I'm back. But I'm telling you, the teams that start to implement this now, again, I think 25% productivity is an absolute no-brainer. We'll drop a couple of other links as usual. Make sure to sign up for the Modern Leader newsletter. That's growing like 1,000 new subscribers every. Pretty amazing. Whenever you really think about it. Let's see here. Oh, my headset died, of course. Classic. So think about that. All right. Make sure book time with me and the team. Number 2 is take a look at some of the resources we put down here before. And I'm telling you this, I'm going to continue to do new topics each week. Your team needs to understand these things. These are massive areas of opportunity for every sales organization. So let's see. So that's what I got for you today, all. It looks like I do have a question here. Just lost it. All right, let's go. Make sure my volumes are good. Yes. 1, 2. All right. It was, how is ChatGPT different than having all this information available and organizing great onboarding plan? It's accessibility. Meaning in an onboarding plan, I have to know where to go. And it also isn't dynamic to be able to understand like, well, Jake's trying to do this, but he actually probably means a little bit of this too. And that's what ChatGPT can do. If I have this onboarding plan, which is great, instead thinking of it as like, where should you be using ChatGPT in your onboarding plan, right? So I'm telling you, you might have links. Again, that's not how people think. People aren't like, oh, I'm going to go to this link, that link, whatever link. People think like, okay, can I just type this in? So I would say, and I can tell you right now, there are ways. And again, this is where if this is an interesting topic for you, we are literally in the process of starting this now with clients. We can integrate book into ChatGPT to where it will literally give you the answers to your playbook first that you can just do with just typing a question. So I would say it's not about replacing the onboarding plan. It's making it easy for people to query it. And the thing is this, like, your onboarding plan can't role play. Your onboarding plan can't say, hey, be more direct. What would this language look like? My style is a little bit more this. Help me to rephrase this. Your onboarding plan can't do that.
So think of ChatGPT of bringing your plan to life, right? Not replacing it, instead augmenting it and making it even better. So amazing. So, all right, all, I got to run. I will see you all live next Monday. I'm actually in Alaska, hanging out, doing some king salmon fishing, which should be amazing. I've got my dad, my 8-year-old son, so it should be my sister, a lot of fun. So I'm going to enjoy that. And I will see you all. Continue again. Make sure book time. If this is top of mind, book time with me for when I'm back or with the team. And look forward to seeing everyone next week. Have a great rest of your week, everybody.